It was supposed to be just another glamorous afternoon on the set of Loose Women, the iconic British daytime talk show where celebrities drop in to chat about their latest projects and share a few laughs with the lively panel of hosts. But on that fateful day in February, everything changed the moment Hugh Grant stepped onto the stage. The Notting Hill heartthrob, known worldwide for his charming awkward persona and those unforgettable rom-com roles, arrived looking dapper in a tailored suit, his trademark floppy hair perfectly styled and a smile that could melt hearts. The studio audience erupted into applause as he took his seat in the famous purple chair opposite Denise Welch, who sat front and center with her signature bold energy and sharp tongue. The other panelists, Jane Moore, Colleen Nolan and the rest of the crew, exchanged pleasant greetings while the cameras rolled, capturing every second for millions watching live at home. Hugh began by promoting his upcoming film, a heartfelt drama that had critics buzzing. He spoke eloquently about the challenges of filming in remote locations and the emotional depth of his character, cracking witty jokes that had the entire studio laughing out loud. The atmosphere felt warm and inviting, like a cozy chat among old friends. Denise leaned forward, nodding enthusiastically, at first praising his long career and how he had evolved from the bumbling romantic lead to a more serious actor. Everyone seemed relaxed. The producers in the control room were probably patting themselves on the back for booking such a high-profile guest. Little did they realize that beneath the surface a storm was brewing, one that would explode in front of the cameras and send shockwaves across social media. Hugh's signature charm was working its magic, drawing viewers in, but Denise Welch, known for her no-nonsense approach and willingness to tackle tough topics, had something else in mind. She had prepared questions that went far beyond the usual promotional fluff, and as the conversation shifted from film talk to more personal territory, the tension started to build subtly, at first like a faint rumble before a thunderstorm. The audience leaned forward, sensing something was off but still expecting light entertainment. Instead, what followed would become one of the most explosive moments in Loose Women history, leaving everyone stunned and Hugh Grant storming off the set in a way no one could have predicted. The fiery exchange that unfolded next would be dissected for days online, with clips going viral and debates raging about celebrity boundaries, live television etiquette, and whether daytime shows had crossed a line. This was not just another celebrity interview gone wrong, it was a full-blown television meltdown that had viewers glued to their screens, hitting pause and rewind to catch every heated word. The drama escalated so quickly that even seasoned producers were left scrambling, wondering how a simple chat had spiraled into chaos that ended with security subtly guiding the star away and the panel left speechless. The entire incident captured the raw, unpredictable nature of live TV, where one wrong question can turn glamour into gossip fodder overnight. Hugh Grant, the man who had faced paparazzi scandals and court battles in the past, was no stranger to confrontation, but this time on national television it reached a boiling point that no one saw coming, and as the clip spread like wildfire across YouTube, TikTok and Twitter, the world watched in disbelief, wondering what exactly Denise had said to trigger such a dramatic walk-off from one of Britain's most beloved actors. The build-up was slow and calculated, but the payoff was instantaneous, turning what should have been a feel-good segment into headline news that dominated entertainment blogs for weeks to come. As the minutes ticked by on the Loose Women set, the conversation took an unexpected turn when Denise Welch steered the discussion toward Hugh Grant's personal life, something the actor had always guarded fiercely. With a reputation for being private and somewhat elusive in interviews, she began probing about his past relationships, his high-profile romances, and even hinted at lingering questions from his earlier tabloid scandals. The audience gasped audibly as she phrased her question with that trademark bluntness that had made her a fan favorite over the years, asking point-blank if he felt the need to reset his public image after years of being typecast as the charming but flawed romantic hero. Hugh's expression shifted almost imperceptibly from relaxed amusement to visible discomfort, his usual witty retorts faltering for a split second as he adjusted in his chair. The other panelists tried to steer back to safer ground, mentioning his charity work and recent fatherhood milestones, but Denise pressed on undeterred, her voice rising slightly with passion as she referenced old headlines and suggested that perhaps it was time for him to address the elephant in the room, live on air. The tension thickened like fog rolling in. The studio lights suddenly felt harsher. The laughter from earlier evaporated, replaced by an awkward silence broken only by the occasional cough from the audience. He responded calmly, at first deflecting with his classic British humor, saying he was there to talk about the film, not reopen old wounds, but Denise was not backing backing down, she fired back with a sharp comment about how celebrities often use promotional appearances to whitewash their histories and that true growth meant facing the past head-on without the charm. Offensive. The exchange lasted mere seconds, but it felt eternal, the camera zooming in on Hugh's tightening jaw and Denise leaning forward with intense eye contact. Viewers at home were already flooding social media with live reactions, some cheering Denise for her boldness, others defending Hugh as a goo, a state who deserved respect. The panel tried to intervene with nervous laughter and attempts to change the subject to lighter fare like his favorite London spots, but the damage was done. The fiery back and forth escalated when Hugh stood up abruptly, his voice cutting through the air like a whip as he declared that this was not the platform for such invasive questioning and that he had come in good faith only to be ambushed. The audience murmured in shock as he reached for his microphone pack, the producer's signals flashing wildly in the background, but it was too late. The moment had spiraled beyond control, turning a routine celebrity spot into pure unscripted television gold, or depending on your view, utter disaster. Denise fired one last pointed remark suggesting he was running away from accountability just like in his movies, and that is when Hugh snapped completely, his face flushing as he retorted sharply that they were not resetting anything and that loose women had crossed a line by treating him like tabloid fodder. Instead of a professional actor, the entire studio fell into stunned silence, broken only by the sound of his footsteps as he began to make his exit, the other hosts calling after him in vain, trying to salvage the segment. But the die was cast. This was the fiery exchange that would define the episode forever, captured in high definition for posterity and replayed millions of times online. The drama unfolded so rapidly that even seasoned loose women veterans admitted later in interviews it felt like watching a powder keg ignite. The personal questions had struck a nerve. Hugh's history with media intrusion making him particularly sensitive, and Denise, her outspoken nature refusing to let it slide, created the perfect storm of personalities clashing on air. What started as promotional fluff had morphed into a raw debate on celebrity privacy, accountability, and the ethics of daytime television interrogation, leaving the audience divided, some applauding the honesty, others horrified by the lack of boundaries. And as Hugh toward the exit doors, the cameras panning to catch every second, the internet exploded with hashtags trending worldwide. The clip would rack up views faster than any previous loose women moment, proving once again that controversy sells and that even A-list stars like Hugh Grant were not immune to the unpredictable world of live chat shows. The aftermath began immediately with producers cutting to commercial while the panel regrouped, visibly shaken, but the real story was only just beginning to unfold across every platform imaginable. The walk-off itself happened in a blur of emotion and drama that left the loose women's studio in absolute disarray. Hugh Grant, tripping off his microphone mid-stride, his face a mask of controlled fury as he strode past the stunned panel and toward the exit without so much as a backward glance. The audience, which had been cheering just moments earlier, now sat in collective shock, some whispering among themselves, others pulling out phones to capture the chaos for their stories. Denise Welch remained seated, her expression a mix of defiance and surprise, as if she had not anticipated the full force of his reaction. The other hosts scrambled to fill the dead air with awkward commentary praising Hugh's talent while subtly addressing the elephant in the room, but the damage was irreparable. The segment that was meant to run another 15 minutes ended abruptly with the credits rolling over footage of the empty chair where the star had once sat. Producers backstage were in full damage control mode, calling for security to escort Hugh calmly while simultaneously prepping statements for the press. The fiery exchange had lasted less than a minute, yet its impact reverberated like a thunderclap. The exact words exchanged became the stuff of legend, with viewers rewatching slowed-down clips to analyze every micro-expression. Hugh's sharp retort about not resetting anything echoed in memes and reaction videos. Denise later addressed the moment in a post-show interview, claiming she had only wanted honest conversation and never intended to drive him off, but critics online accused her of ambushing the guest for ratings. The entire incident sparked immediate debates about the role of panelists on shows like Loose Women. Were they entertainers or interrogators, and did celebrities have the right to leave when lines were crossed? Social media lit up with divided opinions, some siding with Hugh, calling it a classy exit from an unprofessional setup, others praising Denise for holding powerful men accountable in an era where privacy often shielded misdeeds. The low O's Women official account posted a neutral statement thanking Hugh for appearing and wishing him well, but the clip had already gone mega viral, racking up millions of views on YouTube and TikTok within hours. Edited versions with dramatic music and slow-motion replays flooded the internet, turning the event into entertainment gold for gossip channels everywhere. Hugh himself stayed silent at first, but sources close to him hinted at frustration over the personal nature of the questions, especially given his history with media scrutiny. The panel regrouped for the next segment, attempting to move on, but the energy in the studio had shifted dramatically. The audience applause felt forced and the hosts' laughter strained, as if everyone was still processing the bombshell that had just dropped. This was not the first time a guest had stormed off a talk show, but the combination of Hugh Grant's star power and Denise Welch's fiery reputation made it instantly legendary. Comparisons to past celebrity meltdowns flooded comment section, with fans drawing parallels to other iconic walk-offs. The producers reportedly held an emergency meeting afterward, reviewing footage and discussing whether future bookings needed tighter guidelines on questioned topics. But for now the focus remained on the immediate fallout, which included surging ratings for the episode as curious viewers tuned in to see the drama unfold. The fiery exchange had transformed Loose Women from a cozy chat show into a battleground of egos and ethics, leaving a lasting mark on both the guest and the host involved. The public fascination only grew as more details emerged from behind-the-scenes accounts describing the build-up, the tension, and the final dramatic exit. That no amount of editing could soften this moment would be remembered not for the film promotion but for the raw human clash that exposed the fragile line between entertainment and intrusion on live television. In the hours following Hugh Grant's dramatic departure from the Loose Women set, the fallout spread like wildfire through every corner of the media landscape. Entertainment websites buzzed with exclusive reports detailing the exact timeline of the fiery exchange, while social media platforms exploded with user-generated content from reaction videos to deep-dive analyses. Fans dissected Denise Welch's body language in the clip, zooming in on her raised eyebrows and the moment she delivered that cutting remark about resetting images. Hugh's supporters rallied online, calling for boycotts of the show and praising his dignity in walking away rather than escalating further. The Loose Women team issued a carefully worded apology via their social channels, emphasizing respect for all guests and committing to better boundaries in future episodes. But the damage to their reputation was already underway, with some critics labeling the incident as unprofessional ambush television. Denise Welch herself took to her personal Instagram later that evening, posting a lengthy statement defending her line of questioning as genuine curiosity rather than attack, but acknowledging that emotions ran high and expressing regret if Hugh felt disrespected. The celebrity world weighed in too, with fellow actors and presenters sharing their own stories of tough interviews, some backing Hugh's right to privacy while others applauded Denise for pushing boundaries in an industry often accused of superficiality. The clip itself became a cultural phenomenon, edited into everything from comedy skits to serious think pieces on celebrity culture. The hashtags associated with the event trended globally for days, amassing billions of impressions as people from all walks of life chimed in with their takes. The studio audience members who had witnessed it firsthand began sharing their eyewitness accounts on podcasts and morning radio shows, describing the palpable shift in energy when the conversation turned personal. One viewer recounted how the room went from joyful to tense in seconds, highlighting the power of live unfiltered television to capture authentic moments. Hugh Grant remained notably silent in the immediate aftermath, choosing instead to focus on his film promotion through other channels, but insiders revealed he had no plans to return to Loose Women anytime soon. The incident even sparked calls from media watchdogs for stricter guidelines on daytime talk shows to prevent similar escalations. The producers at ITV reportedly reviewed their booking policies and questioned approval processes in light of the controversy, while ratings for subsequent episodes soared as curiosity seekers tuned in hoping for more drama. The fiery exchange had inadvertently turned Loose Women into must-watch television, proving that controversy, whether planned or not, could boost visibility overnight. Pundits debated endlessly about who was truly at fault. Was it Denise for overstepping or Hugh for being too sensitive? In an age where transparency was demanded from stars, the public remained divided, with polls on T Twitter showing nearly equal support for both sides. The event also reignited conversations about mental health for celebrities facing constant scrutiny and the blurred lines between personal and professional lives in the spotlight. As days turned into weeks, the story continued to evolve, with new angles emerging from leaked production notes and anonymous crew interviews, each adding layers to the narrative of that single explosive afternoon. Ultimately, the walk-off became a defining moment not just for Hugh Grant and Denise Welch but for the entire genre of celebrity chat shows, reminding everyone involved that live television thrives on unpredictability, but sometimes at the cost of comfort and control. The world watched and learned, or at least debated fiercely, about the true price of fame in the digital era, where one fiery exchange could redefine careers overnight. As the dust settled on the Hugh Grant Loose Women saga, the entertainment industry began reflecting deeply on the implications of that dramatic fiery exchange with Denise Welch. Panelists across other talk shows adjusted their approaches, promising more sensitivity in guest interviews, while producers everywhere tightened protocols for handling high-profile stars. The incident served as a wake-up call, highlighting how quickly a promotional appearance could devolve into personal confrontation, leaving lasting impressions on both participants and viewers alike. Hugh Grant returned to his usual low-key lifestyle, focusing on family and upcoming projects, but the experience reportedly made him more selective about future television spots. Sources close to him suggested he valued his privacy more than ever after the public spectacle. Denise Welch continued her role on Loose Women, addressing the controversy in several on-air segments where she reflected on the importance of balance between probing questions and respect, admitting that live TV emotions could sometimes override planned restraint. Her fans stood by her, praising her authenticity, while critics used the moment to question if outspoken hosts risked alienating guests. The viral clips continued circulating, amassing tens of millions of views and inspiring countless parody skits and even a few satirical articles in major publications. The broader cultural conversation shifted toward examining celebrity boundaries in the social media age, where every word is recorded and replayed endlessly. Experts waiting on podcasts discussing the psychology behind such walk-offs, from both the guest's perspective of feeling trapped and the host's drive for compelling content. The Loose Women brand itself experienced a mixed impact, with short-term ratings boosts from curiosity but longer-term concerns about credibility, as some advertisers reportedly expressed unease over the perceived chaos. The episode also fueled discussions in media ethics classes and journalism forums about the responsibility of daytime television to entertain without exploiting personal vulnerabilities. Ultimately, the event underscored the delicate dance between star power and show dynamics, where one misstep in questioning could lead to an unforgettable exit that reshaped public perceptions overnight. As weeks passed, the story faded from daily headlines, but its legacy endured in memes, compilation videos and occasional references during other celebrity interviews, reminding everyone that television history is often written in moments of unscripted tension rather than polished segments. The fiery exchange had exposed raw nerves in an industry built on glamour and now forced a reckoning with authenticity versus intrusion, leaving both Hugh and Denise forever linked in the annals of memorable TV meltdowns. The audience that witnessed it live and the millions who watched afterward all carried their own takeaways, some seen it as a victory for privacy, others as a bold stand for accountability. The debate raged on across forums and comment sections, proving that even a single afternoon on Loose Women could spark conversations lasting far beyond the studio lights. The producers moved forward with new episodes incorporating lessons learned while subtly nodding to the incident in lighthearted ways, but the shadow of that dramatic day lingered, casting a new light on what it truly means to host and appear on live television in an era of instant global scrutiny. Looking back on the entire Hugh Grant kicked off Loose Women episode after the fiery exchange with Denise Welch, it stands as a pivotal